The mic drop post has to do with Exes, which is an echo of the rant and rave that I did for IGTV just a few days ago. This one should be shorter. I'm going to just literally go off of my notes and try not to do any sidebars this time. I must be on a fire air sign type of IG rabbit hole because, frankly, this is the usest of us pet peeve. That's why you always hear me be so passionate about this. I'm passionate about other things, but this just is, as Peter on Family Guy says, this just grinds my fucking gears. Anyway, we are not with the X's on hover shit. Not an insecurity, it's a mutual respect thing. That's how moving on moves. Anything an ex did or could do to add value to your life once upon a time should be on the way to being replaced or definitively be replaced after you begin building past the breakup or building with someone else or both. I debate my friends on this topic often, and not all of them agree with me, even my bestest and closest of friends. But I've been on both sides of this coin, and frankly, keeping exes in your life after the age of 30 is really just immaturity. Relationship cycles with people are seasonal. Some of those seasons are infinite. Ones with exes as friends is just a lie people tell themselves when they don't have the balls to end seasons. You aren't with them for a reason, yet you can't bring yourself to live in the reality that you don't need them in your next season. Yeah, that's on red flag status. Short of having kids, communication is really just a recycling of the bond for the energy that you once had before, the security that you once had before. It's a security blanket that removes motivation to move on and truly find new experiences with someone new. Doesn't matter if both of you have someone. If you're still getting your fix or they are still getting their fix, both of you are choosing the past over the present and limiting the opportunities of the future. Similar to having a multitude of opposite sex friends, as I mentioned in the post that I told you about before. You being the woman who is the go-to for your guy friends, or you being the go-to guy for your female friends, is removing their motivation to find that long-term security and bond in someone who can actually be their security in their bond. Perhaps everyone is not on a mission to play platonic until they can become more, but each person in this scenario loses when playing this childish game. Like I've said, I've been all these people. I've been the ex who was still reaching out to my ex, the ex that an ex felt comfortable reaching out to whenever the breeze blew them in. I've been the woman with a good listening ear to male friends and good advice when I should have been focused on my man and what we were building, and when I should have been letting those male friends find their way to their significant other instead of allowing them to be satisfied with platonically connecting with me. And I've been the woman having to deal with the man who is so busy being nice guy that he's too blind to see that being the listening ear and advice person isn't the move, and that them chicks need to find their own man to lean on. Those men always realize that part when I'm gone, though, and oftentimes conveniently default to what they call quote-unquote friends after the fact because, people in their comfort zones and whatnot. It's an inability, that's what I get for being mean. It's an inability to achieve the explosive success waiting on the other side of comfort. But that is a topic for a completely another day. This topic right here, this is a polarizing topic, and I speak about it harshly because I'm honest with myself. So I'm honest with my observations and real about perspectives built from experiences. We all have our shortcomings. Lying to myself isn't mine. And I'm not a fan of being aligned with people who lie to themselves about their intentions or the intentions of others. This also dips into the topic of optics, which that is also a topic for another day. People want longevity in love and beautiful, sustainable marriages, but want to convolute the new bond with the sludge of old residue and bonds that need to be respectfully placed elsewhere to prevent the stunting of relationship growth for all parties involved. It can sometimes be a delicate balance, making the changes to remove sludge and to recalibrate accordingly. I'm a rip the band-aid off type of person. Like, I'm serious. Even in real life, like my actual wounds, I'm like, boom, oh, it's not healed yet. All right, put some A&D ointment on it. Let's keep it moving. But especially in my relationships, I just try to keep it as real as possible. I don't do that prolonged thing because it's usually not healthy in the long run. That's just how I move, Martians. Now, when I'm involved with someone, this is what I let my male friends know. We're cool, we can be friends, but you're not going to disrespect my man, whether he's around or not. And if he ever says you can't be my friend, you the fuck gone. One friend asked me, why? And I told him, because you're not more important than what I'm building. Go find your own woman so you can get you some of that same type of respect and mutual appreciation for each other's existence. He laughed, but understood because I set the right expectations in advance for new friends, and old friends already know how I operate. This leads me back to my previous statement. This is not about insecurity, it is about respect. Martians mature out of this warped mindset, please. It's created, I don't know who created this idea of, oh, well, opposite sex people can be friends, exes can be friends. This is just toxic cycles of comfort, and you're continuing to have it in your life. And you're better than that. You're better than that. You're better than that. I can't say that part enough. Don't let what people, you know what I think? I think that people have created this idea that there's a weakness about you if you are not able to have that in your life. Maybe it's a millennial thing. I'm a millennial, but I think like an old married woman from the 1920s or some shit, because I used to think like that, but I really sat back, and as I was all those different types of people that I mentioned to you earlier, and I realized just how much I was disrespecting so many people, including myself. I was stunting my growth. I was expecting a sense of entitlement with my male friends just because I had known them. Like, it just was a lot, and it was causing conflict in their relationships. And at the time, I didn't really understand it because I knew that I was just friends with my male friends. But the conflict comes in that really, that opposite sex energy, that really is only supposed to be for that person that you're building with. You don't really need to have that. And forcing that on your partner, or forcing that to be in your life just because that's what is considered, I guess, today's norm, it's not usually to your overall benefit. And it causes conflict when conflict doesn't need to be there. Anyway, I was rambling for a little second. I went off script if you're actually following all my stories. But what I want to say is, move wisely, Martians. There is a such thing as being nice to a fault, even when it is to gain something in the short term. You can lose the long game with this idea of the ex as a friend and opposite sex people as platonic friends. All of that can really hinder you when you're moving on to build something new. And as you probably already know from your own life experiences, starting from scratch sucks. If you know, then you know. So make better moves, Martians. Learn from my experiences. Learn from my mistakes. Deuces.